Well, a song I wrote quite a few years ago. I've written a few songs that have the same title, and this is one of those songs I want to share with you. I recorded a song entitled "Looking Back Down the Mountain" on a recording entitled "The Banquet House," I believe it was, years ago. Well, this is the first song I wrote by that title. I'm just calling it "Looking Back" right now. So anyway, it was written more in a kind of a country music style. The other one was too, but this is a little bit old country, you might say. But anyway, I've never really tried to make songs that much of a different style. That's just the way the Lord gave them to me. But this is one that I'd like to share with you that goes along with the devotion that came up today, and I realized I didn't have a demo. I've had a few computers through the years, and I think I mentioned this early. Some of these songs have not gotten transferred, so I'm going to take my old computer. Two computers go back to the geeks, I guess, and see if they can get that old laptop running again, or else get the hard drive off of it, because I've lost a lot of the quite a few number of the demos that I did to some of the songs. I remember I remember most of them, how they go, but I'd like to have that old demo. I was singing a lot better then, and I was going to play that for you. But anyway, we're going to get what it is. And also, Lord's will, a little bit later, I'll be explaining this little animal up here, and also this thing up here that have been, some questions have been raised about them, and I can understand why. It's a little bit unusual. But anyway, now back to the song, "Looking Back Down the Mountain." Looking back down the mountain, I now can see. I can see the load I carried made me stronger day by day. Every time my sight would fail me, closer I would try to stay. Now I realize, Lord, so often you would have to carry me. Looking back down the mountain, I now can see. Looking back down the mountain, through the many years, I count many disappointments. I see many fallen tears. There've been times, Lord, I've even questioned, why should this be? Looking back down the mountain, I now can see. I can see so many dangers I did not know was even there. So many trials and temptations that tried my soul to snare. But you sent your guardian angels hovering over me. Looking back down the mountain, I now can see. Yes, looking back down the mountain, through the many years, I count many disappointments. I see many volunteers. Many times, Lord, I've questioned just why should this be? Well, looking back down the mountain, I now can see. Looking back down the mountain through the many years, I count many disappointments. I see many volunteers. Many times, Lord, I've questioned just why should this be? Looking back down the mountain, I now can see. Looking back down the mountain, I now can see. Well, some of you may be feeling that way too. Some things we couldn't understand, but when it's all said and done, we're going to claim that passage of Scripture in Romans 8 that says, He doeth all things well. He's working everything out for us, amen, for the best. Not just going to get what's left over, but it's going to be the best for you. Now, this little figure right here. I used to have a dog by the name of Mo, or moreover. I named him a scriptural name. I tried to where it said, moreover, the dogs came and licked the bones of, I believe, Jezebel. I said, moreover, that'd be a good name, scriptural name for a dog. I was just trying to be funny. Didn't work out too good. But anyway, we had a little Sheltie that looked just like this right here. And there was a lady up in Princeton that gave me this. She loved Shelties too, and somehow I'd made mention of it at a concert, and she sent me this beautiful figurine that looked just like our dog Moe. And so anyway, that's why that I keep him up here with me. He's been going for a while, but let me just get, hey Bart, come here, buddy, come here. The one that stays close by me now is this one right here. This is Bart. He is a golden retriever, and he is just a sweetheart. Spoiled us rotten. Right now, he's like me. He's got diabetes. He's also blind. 11 years old, but we love Bart. He was a gift to us from some dear friends, and Bart stays usually right at my feet, and he really became close to me right after I had the heart attack in 2018. Let me get everything fixed up here. And anyway, Bart, when I came home from the hospital, he always seemed to be my dog. When I'd come home off the road, he'd stay with me quite a bit. But he leaned more to Linda because Linda was caring for him more. But when I came home from the hospital and they had to wheel me around, and then I had some surgery on my feet later, and I spent quite a bit of time convalescing. And since I got home, that golden retriever Bart picked up on as many times God created the animals to do. He picked up on my need, and he started staying close to me wherever that wheelchair would go. He didn't understand it all, of course, but he was right there with me. And my wife, said she just couldn't get over how that he had grown even closer to me during that time that I was convalescing. But anyway, he's always stayed close to me, and we sure love the little animals. Isn't it wonderful that God gives us the gifts of so many things, that we may take for granted? And but he's a loving God to give us gifts like little animals like that. And of course, how about each other? That's the greatest gift, right? Well, I'm going to have to make Bart get up. Bart, I'm going to move this door here, buddy. So don't let me scare you. And the question has been asked about this on my wall right here. Well, brother cousin Jim McCracken, he already figured out what it was. Most of you can't. It's a hubcap, and it's a hubcap that's off, I believe, an '83 Cadillac, and we got a Cadillac at that time. Never had one before, and anyway, our road was rocky. It was a rock road coming up to the development where we were living. That's paved now, but needs to get repaved. It's been that long. But anyway, I've always been a car nut. Linda could have cared less what she was driving, just so it got her there. And she wanted it clean. Of course, I never keep it clean enough on the inside. But anyway, she knew that I was really thrilled to have that car. Well, it had just been a couple of months that we'd had it. I was out on the road, and she had to go to the store, take the kid to school, and coming back up that road, one of those rocks flew up and bent one of those wires right on, ruined the hubcap, and it just broke her heart. She thought, oh my, I don't want him to see that. Well, anyway, she went to the dealership and got one. They got one to come in before I got home, and anyway, it was replaced, and I didn't even know what happened until the following Christmas. And the following Christmas, I had a great big box, 2 boxes to open, and all the kids were around, and Linda was watching me, and when I opened it up, it was that hubcap that was broken. And Linda said, I just couldn't stand it. I tell you, I broke that hubcap. But anyway, she not only got the hubcap, but we were so surprised at how much it cost. I'd hate to think how much it costs now. But anyway, that she even wrapped the receipt there, the bill, up in another present. What a present, yeah, for me. But anyway, the little insignia says, you're a prince and you married a wreck. she had to play on that a little bit. They took a picture of this for the Citizen Times, the paper in Asheville, and it was the guy who did the boxing for it, and he says one of the most unusual things that he had ever made a box for was this hubcap right here and the receipt. He said that took the cake, and it just happened to be for my wife, Linda. But anyway, a long time to tell you the story. But anyway, that's the story behind this in my office down here. I've got another studio that I'm trying to get. It's on the top of the garage, but I just haven't been able to get it finished to where I can do some recording. I'm just in a little cubby hole here, closet behind me, and this is where I put my keyboard and all my recording equipment to do demos and everything on in here. So the house is a little bit bigger than the way it looks, but in fact it's too big when you have to pay taxes on it by the square foot. But anyway, we've run our office and all of our business out of our house through all these years. I thought the time that I'm home, I don't want to spend at another office, so we just moved everything, had our office in the basement, and we've had to add on a few things and make a few changes, but at least I could be home when I was home from traveling. And I thank my wife. She has had to make a lot of changes, and we're still making changes. Now we're trying to get stuff put back the way that it should have been. Anyway, I hope that answered some of your questions. And looking back down the mountain, I can see a few things. I can see this old hubcap. That car's been a long time gone, and in fact, I've had 4 buses since then, and I wish I couldn't even afford to buy a tire for them now. But anyway, that hubcap is a great reminder for us, and especially as I'm down here. And then all the Moe up here looking over my shoulder, and Bart, he had to move whenever I opened the door there. But anyway, I thank the Lord for the many blessings through the years, and I thank you for being a friend to us. Hope to have some more songs for you along the way. God bless.